Antonio Brown, we all know about his departure. And as much as he would like to turn the page and the Raiders would love to turn the page, any conversation about his worthiness as a teammate and his ability to be a teammate of note and contribute and not detract or distract. You've heard what Mayock said at his opening press conference being introduced. You've heard Gruden over and over again saying, are you kidding me? Getting somebody like Antonio Brown, that guy's a baller, blah, blah, blah. As much as they would like to just turn the page, Antonio Brown has yet to turn the page, even though he has said he's turned the page. And yesterday over Twitter, he's going back and forth with somebody, Steelers Steve, okay, about something that Steelers Steve responded to him with a photograph of JuJu Smith-Schuster being named as voted upon by the Steelers teammates most valuable player of the team. To which Brown responded, because he said, keep your emotion off the internet or something like that, right? That's what started it.
That's what started it.
Right, and so he wrote back, emotion, boy fumbled the whole postseason in the biggest game of the year. Everyone went blind. Too busy making guys famous. Not enough reality these days. By the way, check the list. Now, JuJu Smith-Schuster fumbled to essentially end the game with the Steelers trying to win a crucial contest for them in Week 16 in New Orleans. And the Steelers had, in the proverbial whoever has the ball last type game, the Steelers were having the ball last, and JuJu Smith-Schuster fumbled the ball. Saints, with a big defensive takeaway, ends the game. The Steelers then have to go into Week 17 in a win and need help scenario from the Cleveland Browns to beat the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. And the Cincinnati Bengals had a similar situation in Week 17 to help the Bills make it, and they beat the Ravens. So it was entirely possible, certainly the way that the Browns were playing. So I want to say on its face, just what Antonio Brown said here in response is factually not correct. Because the whole postseason, they still had an opportunity to make it. They had to beat Cincinnati at home and then hope for other results. It wasn't like over right then and there. It put them in a very difficult position, but it wasn't over. And certainly that's the point that Steelers fans are trying to make. It wasn't over in Week 17 when Brown, again, reportedly stormed off the practice field by throwing a ball at Roethlisberger's feet, something that he still hasn't had to one-on-one account for in a conversation with anyone in the media, unless Darlington did ask him that when he was still Mr. Big Chesting prior to getting his exit visas with the Raiders. I just didn't hear that. Nobody's pointed like, did you throw a football at Roethlisberger because he was calling you out for not running the right route in a practice? Did you do that? Did you walk out on your team? Did you force the situation to the point where your coach had to call your agent to ask you to come to work? Did that happen or not? Because JuJu Smith-Schuster showed up. JuJu Smith-Schuster stood up after fumbling that ball. And all he is just a delightful presence, a breath of fresh air, a new face in the National Football League that is just contagious with his joy and his balling out play.
And he's really good. Yeah, he's really good.
Okay. So all I'm saying is, in this world, Antonio Brown can be known as the best in the game, is worthy of the guaranteed dollars that he has received to be known as the highest paid, annually paid receiver in the game, worthy and deserving of it. Just in the same way that JuJu Smith-Schuster is worthy and deserving of all the praise coming his way, the footballs thrown his way, the adulation from Roethlisberger coming his way. That's why he was voted team MVP, which set off Brown to broadside this young man on Twitter, to which JuJu Smith-Schuster responded like with a barrage of tweets saying, what gives? All he did was just provide him respect and love. All he ever did was show that man love and respect From the moment I got to the league, I was genuinely happy for him, too, when he got traded to Oakland, which is what he said when he showed up on our Super Bowl set. He had every shot to take it at Brown and didn't take it. Crazy how big that ego got to be to take shots at people who show you love. SMH, shaking my head, is what JuJu Smith-Schuster had to say. So, as much as we'd love to see everyone turn the page, there still are questions remaining. And is part of what Brown had a problem with in Pittsburgh because he couldn't share the spotlight with a young kid who's coming up, whose success might have had something to do with the fact that he was double-teamed a lot? It's not as if nobody on the planet was calling Antonio Brown the best in the game. I'm still doing it. I'm raising my hand and giving the respect to 84 that he deserves with his play, but is fumbling away with his social media broadsides like this. I mean, he may have a big chest, but he certainly doesn't have big respect for others like that. He doesn't have anything like, he's not big gracious. I mean, it's really awful to see what he threw in JuJu Smith-Schuster's feet. And again, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but a lot of people who have an issue with some of the things like maybe I've said about Ben here, just saying, now you're seeing what you're dealing with here. A young, dynamic player who is beloved automatically already in the community from his bicycle escapade to some of the things that he does in the community and balling out on the field. Somebody who is going to the Hall of Fame, on the way to the Hall of Fame because of his 9 years in this business doing what he's done. Man. That guy doesn't have enough confidence in himself to be able to say, good on you, kid, or respond to Steeler Steve with that, saying he was valuable. He's a great kid, but good luck without me.
You mean the guy who quit on his team week 17?
That's what I'm saying. And then also say that this kid fumbled away the postseason? No, technically, the person who helped fumble away the postseason was the guy who was not there in week 17, creating whatever the hell was going on in that locker room. So that team was sleepwalking in the first half and needed to, by the hair of their chinny chin chin, get past get past the Bengals that day. And who knows what was going on in the locker room for weeks that on end that caused them to be in that position because they didn't win enough after being, 7-2-1. So this is what I said on Twitter, and I'll say it here again now that I've got more than 80 characters to say it.
Yeah, 280.
Without a doubt, Antonio Brown is a Hall of Fame receiver and one of the best of the game, deserving of that contract. And without a doubt, JuJu Smith-Schuster is a dynamic, spectacular young player whose contagious joy is a refreshing, much-needed face in the National Football League. Both can be true. I don't understand the hate. I'm not here for the hate. And a lot of people thought I was both siding it. JuJu Smith-Schuster doesn't have a hateful bone in his body. And maybe Antonio Brown doesn't either, but before you hit send, Antonio, a little bit of self-realization. I love the way he balls out. And we'll see what he does for Oakland. And we'll see what happens the first time his teammate fumbles in a crucial situation.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.